Oh, I'm live. Hello. These lights are bright. Uh, I got up today and I was waiting on my uh, seeds to come in the mail. I wanted my seeds in the mail, and I got the dates mixed up. I thought it was they come on the 10th, but I checked again and found out that the seeds that I have ordered come in on the 11th. I'm just anxious to get started. I have some collard greens and kale already planted. Um, so I'm waiting on that, and I'm also have some more seeds coming in, like I said, in the mail on the 11th. Yeah, the 11th, and so that is something that I'm looking forward to. Um, but I got a lot of stuff done today. I got a lot of stuff done today. Both cars had oil change in them. I got that done. I did things to occupy my time, and then took a friend out. He and I, after we finished working on, he's working on his car. I was working on mine. We went on out and had a little bit of lunch. Yeah, lunch. And so that was a change of pace. And so now I'm looking at getting my seeds. I need my seeds. Uh, I purchased a. It was a device that allows you to convert your refrigerator into a freezer. And so I'm not yet set if I'm gonna use it for that purpose. I mean, I already ordered it. So what it does is it keeps the refrigerator, freezer, excuse me, at a much higher temperature by cutting it on and off before it reaches the lowest temperature. And so what I'm going to do is um, I'm going to most likely use it for a device that will control my heat mats for my greenhouse. So I'm thinking about that too. That will be a definite plus. And it has the power to do it. So when you can set it where if it gets too, I mean, the thing is real slick. It will alarm if it gets too if it gets out of the way I got it set. It will definitely alarm and that sort of thing. Um, so I'm looking good. Excuse me. Excuse me. That comes from being in the yard today. It's an allergy. I still will go in the yard even though it messes with my allergy. So I still will go out there. But I'm looking at, you know, the collard greens. I got some growing in containers. Actually, I have them over seeded in containers, and that's always a plus. So I'm going to definitely make certain that um, I take care of those plants that are already out there because I got them coming up. I mean, they coming up. They are coming up, folks. And I did have to reseed because when it was too warm and I put them out there, I lost. I think I lost some. So what I did is I said, okay, I got this. I said, I know what I'm gonna do. So when I put the new ones in tomorrow, they will be in the optimum amount of time put in. They gonna come right in there as they're supposed to. Um, and like I said before, folks, um, definitely using my my yard to grow as much collard greens as I can. I'm not gonna play the game of not having food growing in them spaces. And when it gets cooler, collard greens, they like that. Um, so I'm happy. I got things growing. Everything else is kind of died back. The tomatoes and also the potatoes are trying to grow. I don't know what that's all about, but I guess when they get hit with a few degrees colder, they will die out. Because right now we get the temperatures at night around the area of what is it about? We got I think we got 40 some degrees one night, 45 something like that, and that did not kill the potato. So it's gonna take a few more nights of that. Everyone is scrambling to make sure that they can stay warm this winter. And that being said, means that they're buying electric blankets, they're buying heaters, things of that nature. And, so I'm working at that. I want to thank you, two of you out there. Two of you gave me thumbs up. Thank you very much. Afternoon, everyone. That's how you do it. Hello, how you doing? And let's see, playing in my yard. I like that. I like that. Playing in my yard. That's. It should always be fun when you're in the garden. Excuse me. So, let's see. I know that I'm going to do peppers this year coming out, if the Lord willing. I'm going to do peppers this year. I'm also going to do tomatoes. The only tomatoes that I'm going to grow is going to be Cherokee Purple. I'm not messing around with a whole bunch of tomatoes that don't do well in this particular environment. I saw that Cherokee Purple will do well. Um, and I'm going to still do the Black Cow, and I'm going to do Black Cow and Blood Meal and also Bone Meal. Put that down in the ground. If that don't grow your stuff, then they're not going to grow. Um, so everything looks good. I'm still sticking with my the fact that I'm using weeds to grow and weeds and grass to grow my food. I still do that. I put it on the ground. I keep the organic matter in the ground because right now, what I like about it is in the spring and summer, I had so many worms that were acting up that I really enjoyed that. I mean, I really enjoyed the worms being everywhere. I've never had that before until I started using the weeds. Um, what am I looking at here? Oh, okay. I'm looking at a bill. One thing I love about my bills, I pay them all ahead of time. I don't even wait. I just pay everything, so it's paid and caught up. I don't like bills being. I don't know why I'm like that. It's just I don't like bills being stacked up on me. I don't like it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna check this and make sure this is paid. No, it's 4:09, and that means it's too late to call here. It's no big deal. I know it's. Oh, okay, okay. I know this is already paid. I already know that because I made sure I paid it ahead of time. Went out to karaoke, had a good time last night, and karaoke was. Folks. I have to get my own equipment because they don't set the mic and the music the way I want it set, and I'm very particular about that. I don't like it, and so I'm gonna just set my own up and stop complaining about it. I just want my own. Um, so when I set my voice in there, I know I did a song. Well, let's see, what song is this? This is one of the songs I'm going to be doing. I did it at home. I'm gonna let you hear a little taste of it if you care to, and if not, I'm just doing the best I can, man. All right, here we go. I did this song yesterday. It's really gonna sound. I think it's gonna sound really weird and scratchy over the computer, but let's see what we got here. Um, can you hear that? I wonder, can you hear that? Can anyone hear that? Okay, I guess you can't hear it. Oh, okay, all right. That's a good memory. I did this last night. I'm not gonna play all of it. I can remember when. That's me doing the lead part. Building my whole world around you. I can remember holding that you and I could make it all through. But something went wrong. Okay, that's it. And so I want to get my own equipment because when I go to karaoke, they just won't set me up the way I want to be set up. They won't do it. I asked the man nicely last night, could he set me up the way? And he says he had to make certain adjustments because somebody in the audience said he couldn't hear me. and I did it for a reason. I know what I'm doing. I spent a lot of time, working with mixing vocals, and so I didn't. I don't care if I was not loud enough. Let's see. You got him down. That song is on my playlist in my old phone early. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's the first. You're the first person said you actually had that song, and the song is. It always meant a lot to me because I always admired growing up. I always admired great singers, and Teddy was one of those great singers. He was one of those great singers, and so when I played it one night, I said, "Let me see if I can do something with it." So, needless to say, I picked up the microphone and and I started singing it, and I said, "Wait a minute, I'm going to record this so I can listen to it and see if I have the vocals mixed in the music properly." So, that's what it was. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, but needless to say, the DJ did what he did, and I sat there and I said, nah, I'm ready to leave. I said, because he's not going to give me what I need on the mic. To him, when he go to do his karaoke, he collects his money at the end of the night or whatever, and he goes home. He does not care anything about. So glad to catch you live. Oh, wait a minute. I love the fact you tuned in. Hello, hello. Tell everybody about your show that you got coming up. You can type that up there. That's going to be on the 12th, and it's in different locations where you'll be able to see it. And somebody recognize your talent, and they actually, boom, putting you out there. Um, and I'm glad for you. I'm glad for you because I used to go on there and just watch those watch those birds flying around. I said, "Oh my goodness, the birds!" So yeah, yeah, definitely put the word out there so people can find you. It was fun. Oh, you already recorded it? It wasn't. It was recorded. Yeah, somebody found your channel and they said, let's see, it was done about a month ago. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Because I remember. Oh, okay. So it was done about a month ago. So it's going to televise it on the 12th. Is that what you're saying? Honey, I lost it. I can remember playing. The show is not live, so I have no idea what he is putting on. Oh, okay, okay, I got you, I got you. They got the recording, and they're going to decide when they're going to televise it or what they're going to do with it. Period. Yeah, yeah. But I know they got a lot of good footage in there and like that. And let's see. My mom has a Teddy Pendergrass eight track. Wait a minute. So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking, because I know for you to know this music, you got to be old, at least 24, 25 years old. Let's see. It was a little whole town. Wait a minute. That's the one I love. The whole town's laughing at me. If I could get that whole town laughing at me, well, well, silly fool. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. But let me tell you something I have not found on karaoke, and I can't say it's not out there. Is Teddy Pendergrass did Miss You, I think it is. I am 42 years of age. Okay, okay. Yeah, young person. Um, but the show, I mean, excuse me, when I hear, I used to love that song. I miss you, baby. Ever since you went away, I used to love that. Well, I still do, but I looked and looked and tried to find it on karaoke. But I know what I know people that are in my circle that could make that into a karaoke song. but they won't do it unless you, it's karaoke people, unless you perform it at their place all the time. They're not gonna give you a copy of it. They're not gonna. They say, "Oh, let you love that one as well." Yeah, yeah, that's a classic. And I used to listen to it anytime it was on any radio, any place it would come on. I would go into this trance and just listen to what Teddy was doing with those vocals and how the band was just right in there on him. But I had no idea that band was going through all that trouble with the person Hal Melvin. Hal Melvin wanted to be the leader of that band. He didn't care. He wanted to be the leader of that band. Here's what I would have did if I was Hal Melvin. The women liked Teddy. The women liked the way he sounded, and they wanted him up front. They liked the way he looked. They liked the way he flirted with the crowd. I would have let Teddy be Teddy as long as we all are working. That's what I would have did. Yeah, that's what I would have did. I would have been fighting with him over whose name is first. I would have said, I got them all under contract, and let's all just get out there and do our thing. That's it. Let's make this money. That's a one as well. Yep, but Hal Melvin, and the stuff that Hal Melvin did, if you would have heard back in the early days, it was okay. That's about all it was. It was okay because he was going off in another direction. Teddy had that sound that was happening at that time. Teddy had that sound, and you know, and I saw them on interviews, some of the older recordings, and Teddy, you could see at later dates that Teddy and Melvin, Hal Melvin did not get along very well because Teddy would stand up in front and he would speak. Uh, when the Soul Train, I can't think of his name, Cornelia, Don Cornelia, would say, "Okay, who wants to talk here for us? And who wants to talk?" And Teddy said, "I'll talk." That's what Teddy said in one of the interviews. "I'll talk." And that right there, you should have saw the look on Hal Melvin's face when he said that. And he was supposed to be the leader of that group. So no, I wouldn't have did that. I'd have just no. They can call you the leader all they want. Let's just go out there and make this money. I wouldn't have said, "Well, you are not the leader and I am, and so you better respect that." And I would not have been doing that. Well, yeah, Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy Pendergrass had that. He won one time. He won vocalist of the year because he had that sound. Nick, let's see. And, okay. Okay, I'm glad all that worked out for you because let me just say this to you about your channel, and I like your channel because you're always so friendly and you don't mind if giving people their props if they stop by your channel. You say, "Oh, I remember that time you gave me props. I remember that." And I kept that recording. You said, "Oh, this is the Morning Garden Show. You can go there. You can learn about saving money. You can learn about growing food, and you can learn about making your own, things that you can use around the garden. Like I made my water system, and that's one of the best things I ever added to my garden. One of the best things, period. Um, and it's 100 gallons right now sitting out there, uh, 75% of the way full. I started using, folks, I started using it for other stuff like washing my car because it's free water. And now somebody said something to me last night while I was at karaoke. They said, it's against the law to capture rainwater. And I said, no, 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 wait a minute. Are you serious? I'm saying to the guy, are you serious? He said, yeah. He said, oh my God, thank you. Oh my God. I said, oh my God, thank you. You said, oh my God, thank you. What are you talking about, the rainwater system? I'm telling you. I mean, I know what I did. When I created that, it was to be made solely for use in the garden. So, you know. Oh, thank you very much. I just all I did was out of I think it was more out of desperation because what happened is I was sitting around and we used to get average water bills and we used to look at them and go, oh, okay, I'll pay that. Then when they started going up and they started talking a lot in the news about, well, we're going to see a 30% increase in the water bills by the year 2021, 22. And when they start talking about that kind of stuff, and I said, wait a minute, this is going to increase the cost of operating my garden. And I said, I can't have that. Then what can I do? So I got on the internet and I started looking around. And then I saw something called rain barrel tied into the gutter. And when I saw that, a light bulb went off. Then I started thinking about how to tie in the barrels to the rain barrel. And what happened was a lot of people had systems where they were cutting the barrels, and I didn't want to do all that to my barrel. I didn't want to cut and then have to seal up leaks and all that. And so I said, and I found and then they had systems where the rain would run down into the barrel and cut a hole in the top of the barrel, and it would rain, and it would have to run off, and you would have it open for mosquitoes to get in it. I didn't want any of that, so I found a system that was sealed. So I went online. I looked for the connection between the gutter and the gutter and the barrels. And once I found that, I was like, the federal government does not have any restrictions on rainwater harvesting. Thank you very much. I will let that person know that. Because see, people got to be careful when they start feeding information. And I looked at that. I said, oh, my increasing the rain barrel system, which washes your car years ago. System is outreach or increasing system. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That I did a video on that. You're right. I did a video of me washing the car. And when I did that, I did it because it was just crazy. I mean, I was out there in the yard, and I said, wait a minute, everything's hooked up, the batteries hooked up to it, and at that time, I even had a what they call it. Excuse me. I even had the uh, what they call it. God, it's called a sun capturing system. What do they call it? God, I don't know why I'm having a hard time remembering this stuff. It's just I'm just happy to be online. Um, but it was a sun. When you put them on your roof, they collect the sun. Okay, let's just say the units that collect sun. So it was a char. It charged the units up. Solar panels. Thank you very much. I haven't used that word in almost a year. Solar panels in the on the top of the barrel. It was one solar unit panel, and I bought it. Now here's what happened to the solar unit panel, which I totally didn't understand. I went on uh, eBay and purchased a panel that produces about 12 volts, and it was really sad because after only 1 year, it was burned up. And I said, okay, this must be what they mean when they say some of these Chinese, solar panels are made of very cheap materials and they don't last very long. So a lot of people were putting that stuff on their house as well, and then finding out later that it was made from that cheap, crappy stuff. And so now it's all got to be torn back down and redone. And so meantime, you got really screwed and over. These workers went up there and put the stuff on your roof, and now they don't work because they burn out. Let's see. It's it's fine, but you can. Let's see. Okay, I got you. As long as it's coming off of my roof. Let's see. Catching it off your roof is fine. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know where you found that information that quick. Did you Google it? Let me hold you tight. if only for the night. Yeah, so what happens is, see, I know it, but I don't know. But thank you very much. Thank you, because I was going to do a system that was 200 gallons, and then I got kind of lazy, and I said, 100 gallons is enough. But I still possess the knowledge that if I need, and the way I set the system up, if I need to increase the amount of water I capture, I got it set up where all I got to do is cut off that closed end, cut it off, and then connect the new, and then put two more 55-gallon drums, tie them in with a manifold system like the other ones are, and then at that point I'll be able to catch 200 gallons of water. That 200 gallons of water is, believe me, folks, is quite a bit of water, because I have 100 gallons. I've never run out of water before the next time it rains. I've never run out of water. The only thing I have to remember to do is before winter ever sets in, always empty those drums out. And the quickest way to do it, because they're very close to your property, is to um, I have use a ball valve if you build one. Don't use a round valve. Don't use that. They develop leaks after a period. But if you use a ball valve, they are just so, they're about $2 or some change, uh, made from three-fourths PVC. Everything is three-fourths PVC, and the manifold ties into everything, and it's just a beautiful deal. No leaks, nothing. And if you do develop some leaks when you're putting it together and you don't know where they come from, you keep tightening and tightening. You say, "Wait, where's the leak?" You get that spray on rubber that's in a can, you shake it up, and you hit it a couple of times. It'll stop that. It'll stop that leak. It'll stop that leak. And once I sprayed on it, it has not leaked in years. So I love it, folks. That's how you do it. So anyway, I did that because the cost of water was going up, and I said to myself, I refuse to have the cost of doing my gardening go up. I refuse to have the cost of doing my garden go up, and the cost of my food and all that. I said I refuse to have it. So once I put that, because when I first started out gardening, I did use water from my house. I did. And I would see that little spike in the summer and the spring. I would see it. But it wasn't a big deal back then. It wasn't too much. But now that it's getting where you can look at it and say, what? When it get like that, then I say, okay, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to play this game. So I grow food, and I see that the fertilizer cost is also going through the roof. I did something about that. I started going out, and I mean, I started looking at the weeds in my yard, and I looked at them differently. I looked at the weeds differently. I said, no, we can't have this. I said, all these weeds going around here, and there's no one putting up videos that breaks it down and keeps it simple. That says weeds are plants. Plants eat plants. Simple as that. So why are you allowing? I asked myself, why are you allowing all these weeds and all this tall grass to go to waste when you could be actually chopping the grass down, chopping the weeds down, and when you chop these plants down, because all they are plants. Weeds are simply plants that we don't all have names to, so we lump them together in one category and call them weeds. Now, some people are experts on weeds. They know the names of them. They know which ones can be eaten and which ones can't. So those kind of people have an advantage. But one thing we do know is that plants eat plants. And when you take those plants and cut them down and leave them on the surface, they feed the biology in the soil. So the main thing people should be concentrating on, this is something I said over and over and over and over and over and over again. You are concentrating on feeding the ground, and you're actually doing one thing: is growing soil. It's all you growing. The plants that you put in the ground will take care of themselves. But you're actually just feeding the ground. You're feeding the earth. And the earth is just all these animals just living on it. And you got them crawling all over the ground, those little isopods, and I think I said that right. And then you got all these little insects, and they crawling everywhere, and they're doing their job, and they're eating, and they're living, and they're producing, and then you see yellow jack, They're killing, butterflies and eating them and leaving their wings on the ground. All this activities going on. I even have worms that don't crawl. You hit the nail on the head. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that that comment. I appreciate that. So the worms are crawling on top of the ground. They just crawling on top of the ground. They don't want to be under the ground sometimes in my garden. They just want to run along the top of the ground in the thick weeds or grass or whatever. That's what they want to do. And I let them do that. I look at him and say, look at him. He's just running along and he's moving all fast. And I said, what kind of worm is this? So, and I look at him. I said, he's moving pretty fast. But the thing about it is, I knew that if I had that much worm activity, I can't even dig a hole now in my yard without hitting 4 or 5 or 6 worms. And that's due to the fact that I'm constantly chopping and dropping those weeds and that grass and everything. And people say, well, your garden doesn't look any. I've had people comment, your garden don't look all that neat. Your garden look like you need to cut the weeds. Your garden look like that. I said, look. And you really want to say, look, sir, take care of your garden, and I'll take care of mine. But you don't want to be that way. All you want to say to him is this, sir, I understand what you're saying. You don't understand what I'm doing. You really don't. You just don't understand that I am simply feeding my ground. Now, when I grow something, here's another benefit for chop and drop those weeds and grass. Here's another benefit. I don't have insects eating my plants when I put them in the ground. And that's the truth. I do not have insects eating my plants. They don't eat my tomatoes, they don't eat my okra, they don't eat my corn, they don't eat anything. All they do is eat the weeds. Now that's interesting. All they do is eat the weeds. Now the only thing I might neglect in sometimes is all you got to do is back the weeds up off from around your plant. 15 inches is great. Back them off. Pull them out of the ground if you want to, and lay them around as mulch around your plants that are already there. Lay them around as mulch, and they become mulch/food. So I know there's something to the game I'm doing. When you put them around there, it keeps the other weeds from growing up onto your plants, and it also breaks down and creates food. It keeps the temperature of the ground down when it's real hot. It also keeps the ground moist. Come on now. Come on. And so that's what I do. That's exactly what I do. I don't mess around. I don't mess around. And so because if it ever gets to the point in this country where you can't, and it is happening in other countries now where they cannot afford fertilizer. They can't because they'll take a little bag of fertilizer that we would literally, he said, oh, wow, that's expensive. They $10, $15 for like 2 handfuls of fertilizer. And these people can't afford it. They cannot afford it. So they're using plants that are local plants in the area type of plants. And that's what they're doing. They're not playing around, but they're doing it because they need to eat. Here in America, you still eat even though you grow a garden. You still eat. In some countries, that's it. That's all they got. So they have to make sure it's right. Let's see. All living things have nitrogen and also deposit some of the nutrients and so on. Absolutely. And what what the person is saying, and I'm gonna say it what my father used to say it. What comes from the soil goes back to the soil. Goes right back to the soil. And that's just reality. So that being said, I am having a good time here, growing what I think is food on my property, and it just tastes so much better. It tastes so. Here's what you're doing when you're growing food and you're using pure ingredients, all natural ingredients, no man-made stuff. You're growing them in rich, fertile soil. You're eating better than the presidents of countries. You're eating better than the kings and queens of countries because you're eating food. You could take food from the ground directly in your kitchen and slice it up or saute it, and it goes right into your system. They get the same thing. They get professionals to grow their food, whether it be the best pork or whether it be the best chicken or the better be turkey or it be the best lobsters, whatever they want. It's grown by people who are masters at what they do, but they're eating a certain quality. What I call quality is that if you have some lettuce and the lettuce is picked them yesterday, that's a certain amount of quality. And then your lettuce was picked 2 minutes ago. That's a certain amount of quality. So you're able to put the plate on the table, go out to the yard, cut the lettuce off, rinse it off, put it in the plate, and you're eating the freshest food possible. Well, unless of course you stand out there in the garden and eat it after you pull it from the ground. But I digress. That's how it works. That's it. All right. So I just love it, folks. I love it. Gardening is a big part of my life. It's always been that way since I was like, I think about 12. The way my father gave me some beans once, and I put them. He said, "Go out there and plant these." And I said, "Huh? What?" I didn't know what I was doing. He said, "Put them in the ground about that deep." And because I was a kid, I was 12 years old, and I put them in the ground. He said, "Go out there and water them." And I said, "Okay." And I went out there and watered them. He said, "And don't bother them, and they'll come up on their own." And I said, "What do you mean they come up? What is it?" He said, "They're gonna come up as a plant." I said, "Wait a minute, those beans are gonna come up as a plant?" And when they slowly started breaking through the soil, it really freaked me out. I said, "Look at that. That's the same bean, brown bean, that I put in the ground 4 days ago, 5 days ago. That's the same bean." And then it grew, and each day I saw it grow and grow. And the soil was regular old garden soil. It wasn't nothing, it wasn't done to the soil that really kept it alive or anything like that. It's just that the soil never had anything grown in it. So it was full of nutrients. And, as you take from the soil, you have to put it back. So when you have weeds grow, weeds are interesting because weeds won't stop growing. And they are ample supply of food for your soil because some of them have roots that are so deep that they pull up minerals from that deep in the soil, and those minerals, when you chop them off, lay on top of the soil. Now they're on top of the soil. They actually are on top so that you can get that nourishment to your plants. All right, folks. I guess that's the end of it. Everybody's quiet. Thank you for letting me bend your ear because I was in there getting ready and just taking it easy, just relaxing. And I said I'm gonna do a video, a live stream, and I'm gonna talk about the thing I love most, and that's gardening. And tomorrow, hopefully, if my seeds come, I'll put them in the ground tomorrow because I don't want to wait too late. And something else I started doing because of the area that I live in, or the climate that I live in, I started soaking seeds. I started soaking seeds and warm water so that I can get a jump. I don't want to wait 5 days for this seed to germinate. So what I do now is I take that seed and I put it out there. What do they call it? I let it soak, overnight, or depending on the seeds shell or what kind of shell it's in. Might just be 8 hours, might be 4 hours. I'll let it soak, and once I let that seed soak, I put it in the ground. I put it in a pot, and when that thing pop up in 2 days or 3 days, I say, yeah, that's how you save time. That's how you save time. The next thing I want to do like that is a tomato seed. I want to soak it in warm water, but I'm gonna soak it. I'm gonna soak it for a certain number of hours instead of all overnight. And once that water gets in that seed is going to start to germinate quicker. It might be 2 days, when it pop up, or 3 days. I want to find out, because see, this is a year where I want to. The optimum temperature I found to for seeds to germinate is about 80 degrees. So I'm going to use mats this year that will be controlled by a thermostat. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So I'll have some control over how hot those seeds actually get. All right, good people. I want to thank you for tuning in. This is the Morning Gardener, and I want to thank you. And we'll do this again. And looking forward to it. And remember to keep on growing and keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you very much. This has been the Morning Gardener.